prayer. It is one of the most ancient and powerful practices known to humanity. Every day, millions of people turn to prayer in moments of joy, despair, gratitude, and uncertainty. It is often seen as a sacred bridge between us and the divine, a way to seek help, ask for blessings, or request guidance. But have you ever stopped to ask, does prayer really change anything? Many believe that prayer is a tool to persuade God, to convince Him to intervene in our lives and fix our problems. We pray for success, for healing, for love, for protection, and when things don't turn out the way we wanted, doubt begins to creep in. Why didn't my prayer work? Why didn't God listen? But here's a truth that can change the way you see prayer forever. Prayer does not change God. It changes us. God is constant, unshaken, and beyond the limitations of human emotions and desires. He does not make impulsive decisions based on our momentary needs. His wisdom is infinite, and His understanding goes beyond what we can comprehend. So, if prayer does not alter God's plan, then what does it do? It transforms us. It refines our thoughts, strengthens our inner resilience, and aligns us with a higher perspective. Prayer is not about bending divine will to fit our wishes. It is about reshaping our own hearts so that we may grow in wisdom, patience, and strength. Prayer shifts our perspective. When we pray, we often ask for changes in our circumstances. We want difficulties to disappear, obstacles to be removed, and challenges to be resolved. But more than changing the external world, prayer changes the way we see the world. Imagine someone going through a difficult time, facing setbacks and struggles. If they pray only to escape their problems, they may feel frustrated when things don't change instantly. But if they pray for strength, clarity, and resilience, something shifts within them. They start seeing solutions where there were once only obstacles. They develop patience where there was once frustration. They find courage where there was once fear. Prayer doesn't always remove the storm, but it teaches us how to navigate it. It reminds us that even in uncertainty, we are not alone. It connects us to an inner stillness, a deep knowing that there is a greater purpose at play. Prayer builds inner strength. Have you ever noticed that when you pray for patience, you don't suddenly wake up as the most patient person in the world? Instead, life presents you with situations that require patience. When you pray for strength, you are not instantly free from challenges. Rather, you are given opportunities to develop strength. This is because prayer does not magically erase our struggles. It equips us to rise above them. It does not change the circumstances, but it empowers us to face them with greater wisdom and courage. Through prayer, we cultivate resilience. We learn to trust that even in difficulty, there is growth. Even in uncertainty, there is a deeper plan unfolding. Prayer shapes us into the kind of person who can withstand life's trials with grace and faith. Prayer aligns us with divine wisdom. One of the greatest transformations that prayer brings is alignment. When we pray, we are not just speaking words into the air. We are attuning our minds and hearts to a higher wisdom. Prayer helps us let go of unnecessary worries and distractions. It shifts our focus from fear to faith, from doubt to trust. It reminds us that we are part of something greater, that we are not alone in our journey. Through consistent prayer, we begin to understand that life is not just about getting what we want, but about becoming who we are meant to be. We realize that challenges are not punishments but lessons. We understand that delays are not denials, but opportunities for growth. When we align ourselves with this wisdom, we stop resisting life. We embrace the journey, trusting that everything is unfolding in perfect time. Conclusion: the true power of prayer. So the next time you pray, don't just ask for circumstances to change. Ask for yourself to be transformed. Ask for wisdom to understand, strength to endure, and clarity to see beyond temporary struggles. Because prayer does not change God, it changes us. It softens our hearts, clears our minds, and strengthens our spirits. It turns fear into faith, confusion into clarity, and weakness into resilience. Prayer does not move God to act, it moves us to grow. So, embrace prayer not as a tool to control life, but as a sacred practice of transformation, because when you change, your world changes with you. Let me know in the comments, how has prayer transformed you? And if this message resonated with you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more motivational content. Prayer shifts our perspective. Prayer is often seen as a way to ask for help, to seek solutions, or to change circumstances that seem unfavorable. However, the true power of prayer lies not in altering the external world, but in transforming the way we see it. Life is filled with challenges, uncertainties, and situations beyond our control. When we pray, we may hope for difficulties to disappear, but what really happens is a shift within us. Instead of focusing on obstacles, we begin to see opportunities. Instead of feeling helpless, we gain inner strength. Prayer does not remove hardships, but it gives us the wisdom to face them. When we look at our problems through the lens of fear, they seem overwhelming, but when we approach them through the lens of prayer, they become stepping stones for growth. Imagine being in a difficult situation where nothing seems to be going right. Without prayer, frustration and despair take over, but through prayer, something shifts. You begin to see the lesson hidden in the struggle. You start recognizing that every challenge has a purpose. The situation itself may not change immediately, but your ability to handle it does. Consider this. When a person prays for patience, does the world suddenly become easier? No. Instead, they find themselves in situations that test their patience, helping them develop it. When someone prays for strength, they are not instantly free from hardships. Instead, they discover an inner resilience they didn't know they had. This is the transformation prayer brings. It changes our perspective, making us stronger, wiser, and more prepared for life's journey. One of the greatest shifts prayer brings is from resistance to acceptance. Often, we resist what we cannot change, leading to frustration and suffering. But prayer helps us embrace reality with a sense of peace. It does not mean giving up or becoming passive. It means trusting that there is a greater wisdom at play. It allows us to move from a mindset of struggle to one of surrender, where we no longer fight against life, but flow with it. This shift in perspective is what brings true inner peace. Prayer also helps us focus on gratitude rather than lack. Many times we get caught up in what we don't have, what's missing, or what's going wrong. But prayer reminds us of what we do have. It opens our eyes to the blessings we often overlook, the support of loved ones, the strength to keep going, the lessons we have learned along the way. Through this change in perspective, we cultivate a sense of gratitude that lifts our spirit and transforms our approach to life. The beauty of prayer is that it teaches us to see beyond temporary struggles. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" we begin to ask, "What can I learn from this?" Instead of feeling lost in difficulties, we develop trust that there is a deeper purpose unfolding. This mindset shift is what truly changes us, not the removal of difficulties, but the ability to face them with faith, courage, and understanding. So when we say prayer does not change God, it changes us, this is what we mean. It changes our mindset, our emotions, and our outlook on life. It gives us a new way of seeing the world, not through the lens of fear, but through the lens of faith. And when we change from within, everything around us starts to feel different. Because in the end, it is not the world that needs to change. It is our perception of it that makes all the difference. Prayer builds inner strength. Many people turn to prayer hoping that their struggles will be removed, that life will become easier, and that obstacles will simply disappear. But prayer is not meant to erase challenges. It is meant to prepare us to face them. Strength is not something we receive instantly. It is something we develop over time. And prayer is one of the most powerful tools for building that strength. It does not change the situation, but it changes us by giving us the courage, resilience, and endurance to withstand whatever life brings our way. Imagine someone going through a tough time. Perhaps they are struggling with personal loss, financial difficulties, or emotional turmoil. They pray for relief, hoping their problems will vanish. But instead of magically removing their hardships, prayer gives them the inner strength to keep going. It fills their heart with hope when they feel lost. It reminds them that they are not alone. The situation itself may remain the same, but their ability to face it grows stronger with every prayer. This is how prayer builds resilience. It does not eliminate struggles, but it strengthens the person facing them. Strength is not developed in times of ease, but in moments of difficulty. A person who prays for patience will not suddenly wake up in a world without challenges. Instead, they will encounter situations that test their patience, allowing them to grow. A person who prays for courage will not suddenly be free from fear, but they will find themselves in moments where they must step beyond their comfort zone. This is how prayer works. It does not hand us solutions, but it prepares us to become the solution. There is a reason why some people break under pressure, while others rise above it. The difference is not in the situation itself, but in the mindset and inner strength of the person facing it. Prayer shapes our mindset. It reminds us that no challenge is greater than the power within us. It keeps us grounded, focused, and connected to a source of inner strength that we may not even realize we have. It allows us to face adversity, not with fear, but with a quiet confidence that we will overcome. One of the most powerful effects of prayer is that it shifts our focus from helplessness to empowerment. Instead of feeling like victims of circumstances, we begin to see ourselves as individuals capable of growth, transformation, and endurance. We stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "How can I grow from this?" This change in perspective is what turns ordinary people into extraordinary souls. It is not about avoiding challenges, but learning how to navigate them with grace. So when we say prayer builds inner strength, we are acknowledging that true strength comes from within. It is not given to us in an instant. It is cultivated through experience, perseverance, and trust in a higher wisdom. Prayer is not about making life easier. It is about making us stronger. And as we grow in strength, we realize that no obstacle is too great, no challenge too difficult, because within us lies a resilience greater than any storm. Prayer transforms fear into faith. Fear is one of the most powerful emotions that can hold us back in life. It keeps us stuck in doubt, hesitation, and anxiety, preventing us from moving forward with confidence. Fear thrives in uncertainty, in the unknown, and in the moments when we feel powerless. But prayer has the incredible ability to transform fear into faith, not by eliminating difficulties, but by shifting our mindset and strengthening our spirit. When we pray, we do not always receive immediate solutions to our problems, but we do receive something even more valuable, the courage to face them with trust and confidence. At some point, we all experience moments of fear. Fear of failure, fear of loss, fear of the future. It is natural to feel uncertain when things do not go as planned. But fear, when left unchecked, can take control of our thoughts and paralyze us from taking action. We begin to doubt ourselves, question our abilities, and assume the worst possible outcomes. In these moments, prayer becomes a guiding light, reminding us that we are not alone, that there is a higher wisdom at work, and that we are stronger than we think. When we pray, we are not simply asking for things to change. We are aligning our hearts with faith. Faith does not mean that everything will go exactly as we want it to. It means trusting that whatever happens is leading us towards something greater. It means believing that even in difficulty there is purpose, even in loss there is growth, and even in uncertainty there is guidance. Fear tells us that we are powerless, but prayer reminds us that we are never without strength. It shifts our focus from what could go wrong to what can go right. Consider a person facing a major life decision, perhaps a career change, a financial struggle, or an important relationship challenge. Without prayer, their mind may be consumed with worst-case scenarios, doubts, and fears about the unknown. But through prayer, they begin to find clarity. They may not receive an immediate answer, but they gain peace. That peace gives them the confidence to move forward, even without knowing exactly what the future holds. Prayer does not guarantee that the path will be easy, but it assures us that we are not walking it alone. One of the most powerful ways prayer transforms fear is by shifting our focus from problems to possibilities. Fear makes us focus on limitations, on what we lack, what could go wrong, or why things will never change. But prayer turns our attention towards solutions. It reminds us that we have the inner strength to overcome obstacles, that there are always new opportunities ahead, and that even the hardest moments are temporary. When we pray with faith, we no longer feel like victims of life's uncertainties. We become empowered to face them with trust and resilience. Another important aspect of prayer is that it teaches us to let go. Fear often comes from trying to control everything, wanting every detail of life to unfold exactly as we expect. But the truth is, we are not meant to control everything. Some things are beyond our understanding, and trying to force outcomes only leads to more anxiety. Prayer teaches us to surrender, not as a sign of weakness, but as an act of trust. It helps us release the need for absolute control and instead embrace the flow of life. This does not mean we stop taking action, but rather that we stop resisting the natural course of events. Many times we think faith means having no fear at all, but in reality, faith is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to move forward despite it. A person of faith does not have all the answers, but they trust that the answers will come at the right time. A person of faith does not wait for every fear to disappear before taking action, but they take action knowing that they are supported. Faith does not remove all uncertainty, but it allows us to face uncertainty with confidence. One of the most beautiful effects of prayer is the sense of peace it brings. Even when nothing in our external world has changed, we feel calmer, stronger, and more assured after praying. This is because prayer connects us with something greater than our fears. It reminds us that we are guided, that we are not alone, and that we have within us everything we need to face life's challenges. This peace is not dependent on circumstances. It comes from within. It is a deep inner knowing that no matter what happens, we are capable, we are resilient, and we are exactly where we are meant to be. So, when we say prayer transforms fear into faith, we are recognizing that fear may always exist, but it does not have to control us. Through prayer, we shift our energy from doubt to trust, from hesitation to confidence, and from worry to inner peace. Prayer does not mean we will never feel afraid. It means we will no longer be ruled by fear. Instead, we will move through life with faith, knowing that even in the unknown, we are being guided towards something greater. And that is the true power of prayer. Prayer helps us grow spiritually. Spiritual growth is not about how much we know, it is about how much we transform. It is not measured by the words we speak, but by the depth of our inner peace, wisdom, and connection to a higher power. True growth happens when we shift from seeking external changes to experiencing internal transformation. And one of the most powerful ways this transformation happens is through prayer. Prayer is not just about asking for blessings, it is about evolving into the person we are meant to be. It refines our thoughts, strengthens our emotions, and awakens us to a deeper understanding of life. Many people believe that spiritual growth comes from gaining knowledge, reading, or listening to teachings. While these things are valuable, they do not create transformation on their own. True spiritual growth happens in the heart, not just in the mind. It happens in moments of silence, reflection, and connection with the divine. This is where prayer plays a key role. Prayer is not just a routine, it is a process of becoming. Every time we pray, we align ourselves with higher wisdom, and this alignment shapes us from within. One of the most powerful ways prayer fosters spiritual growth is by deepening our self-awareness. When we pray, we are not just speaking, we are also listening. In moments of sincere prayer, we begin to recognize our own patterns, fears, and desires. We become aware of our weaknesses and strengths. We start to see where we need to grow and how we can improve. This process of inner reflection is essential for spiritual evolution. Prayer acts like a mirror, helping us see ourselves more clearly and guiding us toward a higher version of ourselves. Another way prayer helps us grow spiritually is by teaching us patience and surrender. Many times we pray for something and expect immediate results, but spiritual growth does not happen overnight. Just as a seed takes time to grow into a tree, our inner transformation takes time. Prayer teaches us that growth is a journey, not a destination. It reminds us that some answers do not come instantly, but that every step we take in faith is shaping us into a wiser, stronger, and more evolved person. This patience is essential in the process of spiritual awakening. Prayer also nurtures humility. It reminds us that we do not have all the answers, and we do not need to control everything. Sometimes, life takes unexpected turns, and we may not understand why. But prayer teaches us to trust that there is a reason behind every experience. It shifts our focus from, "Why is this happening to me?" to, "What can I learn from this?" This humility opens our hearts to receive wisdom beyond our own understanding. It allows us to let go of ego, embrace the unknown, and trust that we are being guided towards something greater. Another profound impact of prayer on spiritual growth is its ability to cultivate love and compassion. The more we pray, the more we connect with divine energy, and the more we begin to embody qualities of kindness, forgiveness, and understanding. When we pray sincerely, we are not just seeking help for ourselves. We begin to wish well for others too. We develop a sense of unity with the world around us. We become more patient with people, more accepting of differences, and more willing to offer love even in difficult situations. This expansion of the heart is one of the greatest signs of true spiritual growth. Spiritual evolution is not about having a perfect life. It is about having a peaceful heart. It is not about never facing difficulties. It is about developing the wisdom to handle them with grace. Prayer is the tool that helps us achieve this transformation. It does not promise a life without struggles, but it ensures that we become strong enough to navigate them. It helps us shift from fear to faith, from doubt to trust, and from confusion to clarity. It awakens us to the deeper meaning of life and aligns us with the path we are meant to walk. So, when we say prayer helps us grow spiritually, we acknowledge that prayer is not about changing the world around us, it is about changing us. It refines our character, expands our understanding, and deepens our connection with something greater. Through prayer, we do not just seek guidance, we become the kind of person who can walk through life with wisdom, strength, and peace. And in that growth, we discover the true essence of spirituality. Prayer brings inner peace and emotional healing. In a world filled with noise, distractions, and stress, finding inner peace can feel like a challenge. We are constantly dealing with pressures, work, relationships, responsibilities, and unexpected hardships. These challenges can weigh us down emotionally, leaving us anxious, restless, or even broken. But one of the most beautiful gifts of prayer is that it brings a sense of inner peace. It does not necessarily change what is happening around us, but it changes what is happening within us. Prayer is a bridge between our struggles and our healing, a sacred moment where we release our burdens and receive strength in return. Many times, people seek peace in external things: money, success, relationships, or material comfort. While these things may bring temporary happiness, they do not create lasting peace. True peace comes from within, and it is cultivated through spiritual connection. Prayer helps us step away from the chaos of the world and enter a space of stillness. In that stillness, we realize that peace is not something we have to chase. It is something we already possess when we quiet our minds and reconnect with our higher selves. One of the most profound ways prayer brings peace is by releasing emotional burdens. We all carry unspoken worries, pain from the past, fears about the future, regrets, or disappointments. These emotions, when left unhealed, can create restlessness in our hearts. But when we pray, we allow ourselves to let go of these burdens. We shift from holding on to pain to surrender it. In that moment of surrender, something powerful happens. We begin to feel lighter, calmer, and more at ease. Prayer is not just about asking for things. It is about releasing what no longer serves us. Emotional healing is another powerful effect of prayer. Life is full of experiences that can leave wounds on our hearts: loss, betrayal, rejection, or failure. These wounds do not disappear overnight, but prayer helps us process them with love and understanding. It allows us to see that pain is not meant to break us, but to shape us. Through prayer, we begin to replace anger with forgiveness, sadness with acceptance, and fear with faith. It does not erase what happened, but it changes how we carry it. Instead of letting pain define us, we allow it to refine us. Think about a moment when you felt overwhelmed, perhaps a situation where you had no control, where things seemed to be falling apart. In those moments, prayer becomes a source of comfort. It reminds us that even in uncertainty, we are held by something greater than our worries. It teaches us that peace is not the absence of problems, but the ability to remain calm despite them. When we pray, we create space for healing. We allow the tension in our hearts to soften, the doubts in our minds to quiet down, and the weight on our shoulders to lighten. Another way prayer brings peace is by helping us trust the timing of life. One of the biggest sources of stress is impatience. The feeling that things are not happening fast enough, that we are falling behind, or that we are not where we are supposed to be. But prayer shifts our perspective. It reminds us that everything is unfolding at the right pace. It teaches us to let go of control and trust that even delays and detours have a purpose. When we embrace this trust, we stop forcing things to happen and start allowing them to unfold naturally. This surrender is where true peace begins. Many people believe peace comes when life is perfect, but the truth is, peace comes when we learn to be calm even when life is imperfect. Prayer is the practice that strengthens this ability. It helps us detach from unnecessary worries, focus on what truly matters, and trust that we are exactly where we need to be. It turns our restless thoughts into quiet confidence, our doubts into assurance, and our anxieties into calm acceptance. So when we say prayer brings inner peace and emotional healing, we are recognizing that prayer is not just about changing external situations. It is about transforming us from within. It does not remove every problem, but it gives us the strength to handle them with grace. It does not erase painful memories, but it helps us find wisdom and meaning in them. It does not eliminate uncertainty, but it fills us with the trust that no matter what happens, we are held in divine care, and in that trust, we find a peace that nothing in the world can take away. Conclusion: prayer changes us from within. At its core, prayer is not about changing the universe to fit our desires. It is about changing us so that we can navigate life with wisdom, strength, and peace. We often think of prayer as a way to request things, to ask for specific outcomes, or to seek external changes. But the true power of prayer lies in its ability to transform who we are at the deepest level. It shapes our thoughts, strengthens our emotions, and aligns us with a higher understanding. Through prayer, we become more patient, more resilient, and more connected to the deeper meaning of our existence. Life is unpredictable, filled with joys and challenges, victories and struggles. We may not always have control over what happens to us, but we do have control over how we respond, and this is where prayer plays a vital role. It does not remove difficulties, but it gives us the clarity to see them differently. It does not prevent hardships, but it strengthens us to endure them with faith and courage. Prayer does not promise that life will always be easy, but it assures us that we are never alone in our journey. It fills the spaces of uncertainty with trust and turns moments of fear into opportunities for growth. One of the most profound transformations that happen through prayer is the shift from resistance to acceptance. Many times we struggle against life, trying to force things to go our way, feeling frustrated when they don't. But prayer teaches us that not everything is meant to happen on our timeline or according to our expectations. Sometimes delays are protections. Sometimes challenges are hidden lessons. Sometimes what we perceive as failure is actually redirection towards something better. When we truly embrace this understanding, we stop fighting against life and start flowing with it. This acceptance does not mean giving up. It means trusting that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. Another way prayer changes us is by deepening our connection with peace. In a world that constantly demands more achievements, more material success, more validation, prayer brings us back to what truly matters. It reminds us that peace is not found in external things, but in the stillness of our own hearts. No matter how chaotic the world may seem, no matter how many uncertainties we face, prayer anchors us in an unshakable calm. This inner peace is not dependent on circumstances. It is a state of being, a quiet assurance that we are supported and guided at all times. Perhaps one of the greatest gifts of prayer is the ability to transform our mindset. It shifts our focus from problems to possibilities, from fear to faith, from doubt to trust. It reminds us that we are not powerless in the face of life's challenges. We are capable, we are strong, and we are evolving with every experience. Even in moments of difficulty, we are growing, learning, and becoming wiser. Through prayer, we stop seeing obstacles as barriers and start seeing them as stepping stones. Every challenge becomes an opportunity for deeper understanding, and every unanswered prayer becomes a lesson in patience and trust. As we reflect on the journey of prayer, we realize that its purpose is not to change the world for us. It is to change us. so that we can move through the world with greater wisdom, love, and grace. Prayer refines our character, deepens our understanding, and strengthens our ability to face life's uncertainties with confidence. It does not remove every struggle, but it teaches us how to rise above them. It does not promise a perfect life, but it helps us create a meaningful life, one filled with faith, resilience, and a deep sense of purpose. So, as you move forward in life, remember this: prayer is not about getting what we want, it is about becoming who we are meant to be. It is about shifting our hearts from fear to trust, from doubt to clarity, and from struggle to surrender. It is about aligning ourselves with a greater wisdom, embracing every experience with openness, and finding peace in the journey. When we truly allow prayer to change us, we no longer feel the need to change everything around us. Instead, we develop the strength to navigate life with faith, knowing that we are always guided, always supported, and always exactly where we need to be.